But part of the inflation people are feeling here in the States is the still high gas prices. The Biden administration recently announced more plans to try to bring them back down. The Interior Department will begin allowing leases for oil drilling on government land, planning to auction off roughly 144,000 acres across 9 states. This announcement goes against President Biden's message during his campaign, urging for a complete end to drilling for oil and gas on federal lands. Let's get now to White House correspondent Willie James Inman at our D.C. bureau. Willie, can you walk us through this announcement to open public lands for drilling?
Hey there, Bianca. Well, as you mentioned, this will set a auction for some 144,000 acres of public land for drilling for oil and gas. But this is something, as you mentioned, that the president wasn't on par with, didn't want to do during the campaign, albeit he is facing immense pressure from not only Republicans, but the American public. If you look at public polling, to do more to tackle those high gas prices that we're seeing at the pump. Americans are simply paying record highs for oil. And this is something that the Interior Secretary mentioned in a statement. She talked about the reasons why the department is looking to do this, but she also mentioned how things are going to be different. I just want to bring up a statement from Secretary Deb Haaland. She said, quote, "How we manage our public lands and waters says everything about what we value as a nation. For too long, the federal oil and gas leasing programs have prioritized the wants of extractive industries above local communities, the natural environment, the impact on our air and water, the needs of tribal nations, and moreover, other uses of our shared public lands." Now, in this release that came out on Friday, the secretary went on to describe the differences that we're going to see in terms of those leases. We're going to see an increase in terms of the government's royalties that they rack up from the sale of this oil and natural gas. It's going up to some 18.75%. It used to be 12.5%. Now, we'll note that this is the first increase in years. The Interior Department also mentioned that tribal governments and communities will be closely consulted when these oil companies go into these communities. But I'll just note that it oftentimes takes months for these oil pipelines to come online, Bianca. So it's something that is certainly sets the stage for potential lower prices. But the Interior Department mentioning that these communities will have a little bit more input in the say of how these things work in the near future.
Willie James Inman reporting from our D.C. bureau. Thank you so much.